Hey guys, welcome back to the third and final SVT Lightning video. Well, not final forever. I'm going to keep this truck probably for the rest of my life. But the final video before it embarks on its Parts of America tour with eBay. In this video, we're doing everything else. We're going to do a little bit of a lot of things and get this thing fully complete. In this video, you're going to see it driving down the street, probably making some blower noises and the whole 9 yards. So sit back, enjoy the video. This is definitely one of those start to finish LegitStreetCars videos. So grab that cold beverage, maybe some popcorn or some chips or whatever you're into, and enjoy the show. All right, first things first, we have to make this exhaust look better. Now, once I put the forged engine in, we will be doing a custom catback exhaust. The guys at Fluid Motor Union are gonna do something super pretty, but no one's gonna really see this. We are gonna polish the tips, but we still wanna make it look a little bit more presentable. Actually, it should look pretty good after this. So Peter, go for it. This is gonna look just fine until we get our complete stainless kit done over at Fluid. And this is 1200 degree black spray paint. So it's gonna work out just fine. I don't think it'll get that hot back here. All right, so the exhaust is all dry and ready to be installed, and this is what it looks like. Not too bad for a rattle can job, and we are gonna polish out those tips as soon as it's mounted, so this is gonna look even better. So let's go ahead and attach this to that. All right, slide this guy in. All right, so slide this on top. And I'll put these in first so we can kind of have the exhaust hanging for us. That way we're not fighting too many ends trying to get it in that end and holding the other side. And we'll get this other hanger on here also. All right, we got some clamps for this side as well. All right, check it out, guys. I thought this was an error. There's this like black gooey stuff inside of here. I've never seen that. That's actually a seal that they put in here to seal in between. That's very strange. I wouldn't really count on this to work necessarily. But it's supposed to be like that, I guess. Very weird. Okay. All right, so we had to expand these out a little bit. And this should slide over now. There's that one. All right, we got these two to fit in nicely, so now we can put the clamp over. And I'm gonna go ahead and swing this down so we can service the clamp once the bed is on. And there's this one. All right, so the exhaust has been installed, but I haven't locked anything down too tight yet just because there are a lot of adjustment points and we need to get the bed on so that we get the tailpipe square in the little section of the bed that's cut out for them. So at this point, we're just gonna leave the exhaust as is, and we gotta get this gigantic drive shaft in. So this does look like the factory Ford drive shaft. It looks like a 4-inch aluminum unit that I'm sure holds up pretty darn well. Although you can break anything these days. Let's just hope this doesn't break on us anytime soon. Let me know, Lightning guys out there, if you have broken the factory drive shaft. It is a big, heavy truck after all. There we go. There's so many holes in this. They're using the same flange for different vehicles, it seems like. Good old Ford. They invented the assembly line, and now this universal drive shaft flange. Good job, Ford. Ford also put Loctite on these bolts, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the same with my totally dried up Loctite. And I think this thing just dried up in there. Oh, there it is. Aha. I won this battle, Loctite.
That was an aggressive cut, Alex.
I know. I want to get this project done. You know, you gotta be aggressive. It's like when they're interviewing the athlete and they're like, what are you gonna do in the next game to win? It's like, we're gonna be more aggressive. I'm being more aggressive because this is the last video on this before the tour and I have to get super aggressive. Get in there, Bolt. I don't got time to waste. Aha. See that aggression of pulling that up? I made it happen. Okay. What are you doing, Peter?
Just cooking up a little bit of header dent.
Okay.
A little bent and dent action.
We got to dent the header a little bit. There's technically clearance, but it's very close to the frame, a little bit too close for comfort. So we're going to heat it up and dent it. And did you know that denting a header doesn't really affect the power of the engine. I've seen that in the comments section about 5 million times because everybody has seen, I don't even remember what it was on, like Hot Rod TV or some article or video made where they crush a header and they run it on an engine dyno and it doesn't ever really lose power. Just a little massage.
A little toasty, heat therapy, right?
Yeah, just gently prying, just a little tiny bit of clearance.
Don't look at the paint on your frame.
Wait a minute, that's gonna rust. This part of the frame will not survive. Darn it. Actually, that stuff will probably melt off near the header anyway. Wait, so you haven't made a dent in it yet?
I've not made any progress.
But if you guys want to make progress fighting male pattern baldness, all you need is keeps. Peter, no, we don't need the fire for that. That's for the headers. You just need keeps because 2 out of 3 men by the age of 35 experience some form of male pattern baldness, and all you need are a few drops on your head. No fire required. Keeps is a subscription service that makes treating male pattern baldness easy and affordable by keeping everything online, and it's as easy as a few drops on your head. They also have the foam version. They have hair thickening pomade and shampoo and conditioner. It is truly your one-stop shop. It's super easy to get started with Keeps. Just click on my link down below. You're gonna consult with a real doctor from the comfort of your own home, come up with a game plan, and then Keeps is shipped discreetly and automatically to your home. Now, it typically takes between 4 and 6 months to start seeing results, so the sooner you get started, the better, but the results speak for themselves. Guys, do not delay. Go to keeps.com/legit, link in the description box, and that's gonna get you 50% off your first order. All right, it's kind of hard to see, but oh, there you go. We got a little bit of clearance now between the header tube and the frame. I think that's all we're gonna need. But if we need any more, we can massage it later. I think that's good enough. Before we move the frame under the cab and start getting the cab mount bolts, we're gonna do the trans-cooler lines. This is gonna be easier to do right now. So if I remember correctly, these go somewhere in here. A lot of fishing and snaking going on. I gotta say, I feel bad for anyone learning the English language. We have so many weird terms. We're gonna snake this in. We're gonna fish it in? Fishing it through? Is that the term? I don't even know.
What does this have to do with fish?
Right. This has nothing to do with, well, this has nothing to do with fish, but just getting something in a tight spot, fishing it through. Do fish go through really tight spots? What about like hamsters? They go through little tight spots. I'm hamstering this thing in, or through. Come on, little hamster. Come on. I'll give you some peanut butter at the end. What do hamsters eat? I have no idea. It's hamster food. Oh, this is a pain in the butt. So glad we're doing this without a cab. Where does this go? Am I close, Peter?
You're almost there.
Yeah?
Right on it.
Move it back to Peter's finger. There we go. Like that? Yeah. Oh, it all makes sense now. I don't know which way to go. It's lefty tighty, righty loosey. I don't know why I'm trying to do that underneath there when I can just pop out real quick. And then the world makes sense. There we go. And torqued.
You didn't say click.
Oh yeah, click. Okay. All right, trans-cooler lines are semi-installed. These other two go to the radiator, so it goes through the radiator and it has an external heat exchanger as well. And I want to get rid of this guy. This was something someone rigged up in here for the air filter that kind of sat in here. And then we're going to clean this up. This is where the coolant tank sits, and it was spewing out all our nasty coolant with the head gasket that was blown. So let's see if we can make this look pretty. How hard is this going to be? Oh, not hard at all. After we get the engine in, we'll detail everything, but I just want to get a head start here. All right, so right now Peter is sliding one of our cab mounting bolts through, and then I got to meet him down here, slide this guy on, and then temporarily put one of the nuts on. So we went with some urethane cab mounts. These look pretty good. The other ones were shot. So direct from the manufacturer, these are about $350, but I found them for $320 shipped on eBay Motors. Same exact part, same brand, same part number and everything. So pretty good deal. All right, I swear we're just about to roll this frame under the cab. All the mounts are set, but we have a catch can to install, and it's like, why don't we just install it now? A little less time hunched over the fenders, right? And this is meant to work with the factory blower, so things are a little bit different. We've had to do some figuring out. I think this is gonna be a good little spot to mount it. All right, so then we got this factory piece is gonna click in right there. This guy is gonna go to our valve cover PCV valve. The guy who was running this engine before had this plugged off. I just pulled the plug away. All right, we had to order up some parts to make all of this work, so we'll do it once this is all over there. Ooh, look at that back end. It's just drifting out exactly where we need it to go. Sweet. This is gonna be fun to line up exactly with all 6 cab bolts. But we will do it. Is this happening? Am I dreaming right now? This can't be happening. So this goes here. So we gotta come forward a little bit. Do the old, looks pretty good. That one doesn't line up. All right, so Peter is gonna jack up the front so we have another swiveling end. Get that right in the oil pan, right, Peter? Yeah. Okay, good. I remember when we took the cab up the first time, I was like, all right, we'll just leave the frame exactly where it is, and this cab will just simply drop right in. And then Peter brought up sandblasting the frame. And here we are, 3 months later, forgetting where. With a great frame. Yeah. Now I'm almost over the hump to where I'm like, I'm glad we did this. Like I did this on purpose. But at the time, I was like, Peter, why? All right, we clear? Go to your home. It's all about that steering shaft. That thing is kind of a pain in the butt.
But he like sits down. Like, yeah, he looks down.
Oh wait, trans dipstick. This is the trans dipstick, Peter.
All right, you win. That's it. That's the right one.
Yep. All right, so I forgot to put the trans dipstick tube in, so we just raised the cab again. Hopefully that is the last time. So it's kind of an extension. See, it's got one little baby tube here, then an extension. So 2 places it could fail and leak. If your trans fluid is getting up to this point, you're in trouble. But then it bolts to the cylinder head with this, a bolt. Okay. Put this down here. Okay, let's stop. Like from what I'm seeing here, the cab would need to go further back just a smidge, maybe. This is like the 8th time we've gone up and down, guys. So many little things in the way.
Alex, almost in. It's almost in.
Don't start celebrating on me now, Peter. All right? Lots of bad things can happen at this point.
Okay, yeah, with that attitude, of course. Come on, we gotta stay positive.
I don't celebrate until it's running. Well-ish. I'll take ish at this point. We've almost landed. We've almost landed on the moon. Don't know what that noise was. I don't care. Look at this precision. Okay, hang on. Are we held up on something right now? The front's not going down anymore. We're running into an issue here where the cab is resting on the throttle body. You can see they shaved this down before. So this must have been an issue, and it might have been because it has this adapter mid-plate right here that raised up the supercharger more than factory. So this little piece right here is pretty beat up anyway, so I'm going to remove that. Sure it's attached somewhere, but there we go. All right, so we're going to come down again, and we're just going to mark exactly where we need to hit on the firewall. Go ahead, Peter. Okay, so it's going to be like right there. Right there. Okay, go ahead and go up. All right, guys, I did a bunch of research, and adding the mid-plate in here requires you to modify the firewall. So a lot of the Whipple guys have to do this as well. This is what I've come up with, so no real ill effects to the vehicle, and no one will ever see that. And we also learned that you have to get your hose onto the idle air control motor at this point, otherwise we're never gonna be able to reach our hand in there. So that was good. And this is how this engine came, with this hose like that. So we're gonna go ahead and put a clamp there. And then I found a nice factory reducer so we could connect up our catch can as well. Something else we've decided to do now is just go ahead with these O2 sensors. Not that you can't get these from the bottom, but we just wanna make sure all the connectors are clipped in and everything is okay before we have zero clearance with that firewall. So we're just putting these guys together. There we go. So when we got the motor, this was just flopping around all over the place, and that's because it has provisions to bolt up to a bracket when you have the factory blower. So we just kind of rounded this off a little bit. It wouldn't fit normally, and it should fit now. with our little modification. Bam. Perfect. That is mounted really nicely. All right, take 6 or 7. I don't even remember at this point. All right, I'm holding the steering shaft as it goes down. It's all about the steering shaft, the selfish steering shaft. I have to keep my eyes on that the entire time. Okay, there we go. Okay, Peter, keep going. Are we gonna have clearance now? All right, let's stop. All right, so I have to do a little bit more clearance in here on the firewall. So I have to touch this spot here. And this is all clear now. We were running into issues here. And it almost looks factory. It looks rounded and nice. But it is hitting right here on the blower. It's hard to see, but it is. So we have to clearance a little bit over here. All right, guys, so after going up and down about 10 times, this is where we're at. We had to modify the firewall to fit this larger supercharger that has risen up because of the mid plate. And everything is masked off. I want to make this look pretty, so we got some single stage true blue metallic paint. And so let's paint it. Okay, so there's going to be a little plastic cowl piece that goes here, so we won't have a hard line, and you won't see like 90% of this. All right, you know, at this point, this is project while we're in there, so of course, I'm just going to go ahead and lightly get some of these scratches. And the reason we're going single stage here is because that's how they paint the engine compartment of every car, or at least most cars. So if we go clear coat here, it's just not going to match. And then you just got to make sure you clean off where your grounds are. I think that's one there, which we'll clean off obviously before we reconnect it. All right, so right now Peter is going to extend 2 harnesses because the connectors will not reach for the throttle position sensor right here on the throttle body. It was in a different spot with the factory supercharger, and for the idle air control motor, which used to be like somewhere over here from the factory. So we got to extend those out. And while he's doing that, I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning because I think this supercharger can look very nice. A little bit of elbow grease, and this is way easier to do than hunching over the bumper and the fenders. So give this guy a little spit shine, if you will. Guys, I highly recommend this Amsoil heavy duty degreaser. It smells delicious. It's got like an orangey smell to it, but forget that. It works so well and instantly. Look at how clean this makes things. It's just like one wipe and you're done. We've done engine detail videos with this stuff, and it just cuts right through anything. And it leaves a nice little shine to it as well. Anyway, I'll leave a 25% off link down below. All right, we're almost done with our sweet little custom harness extension. Some tan, went with the Grandpa tan wire.
And the fishnet.
And the fishnet, yep. Peter, what's this red stuff?
It's blood.
It's blood.
Workplace injury.
Again?
Call HR.
I just got done speaking to HR, Peter, and you're out of luck. That's not covered.
Dang it, not again.
Sorry. All right, here is our little sub harness. Very factory-like. Peter did an excellent job. Can't even tell anything was done. Look at that. And then here's our lace with our tan Grandpa brown wiring, but that's behind the supercharger, so you won't see it, and it goes right into there. So with that, man, we have done a lot of stuff before lowering the cab, and I think at the end of the day, we've saved ourselves a lot of time. We figured out where all the connectors go. We figured out the catch can situation as well. So let's finally drop the cab, Peter. We're dropping it. We're bolting it down. I don't care what happens. It's getting bolted in, and we're moving on.
It's the final cab down.
He's still going. Oh, this is the final cab down. Hang on, Peter. We got the steering shaft. Okay, keep going. Down you go. Little stop. Wait, hang on. Stop. Keep going, keep going. There you go. Keep going. Okay, stop. Just got some wiring stuff that needs to get pulled out of the way. All right, keep it going, Peter. Look at that beautiful, beautiful firewall. All right, keep it slow, Peter. Slow and steady wins the race. Something. Okay, it just snapped into the body mount. That's the other body mount. Are we there? That's the back body mount. That's it. We did it. We did it, and we have clearance. We got a nice amount of clearance. We could probably even fit a bigger supercharger with that amount of clearance. And yeah, that firewall looks great. I'm really glad we went along here and painted everything So we'll go ahead and put the cowl back. And she's in. She's in. Woo!
The culmination of 1,000 while we were in there.
Oh my gosh.
And they all stack up and they all become this.
And we still are gonna have more, like while we're in there painting.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure we'll find something else, but she's home. All right, I'm getting really excited. At this point, it's just kind of plugging things in, putting things back together. We generally have everything else figured out because a lot of these connectors are just gigantic ones that you can't mess up. Like these go there, this goes to the battery. Lots of little easy stuff. We got a couple brake lines right here, so we'll have to bleed out the brakes. But we are wasting no time putting this back together. Bolting up the starter solenoid right now. There's another ground, and we're cleaning up behind there so it makes a good connection and everything, even though from the factory it was painted behind the ground. So it's probably grounding just through the bolt. But we want a really good ground. We like ground. All right, so I was gonna bolt up the bracket with the throttle linkage, but it hits everything. And it hits the brake booster as well. It's because this guy used to be somewhere over here. And when I got the one off the old engine, I thought it was damaged in the accident, but it looks like they cut this ear off and kind of bent it up. They even drilled a hole for the little return spring. So this is now a custom bracket for the supercharger that needs to be cleaned, and I think I'm gonna try and straighten it out and make it look a little bit better. I see why they bent it. It's just kind of in the way of the purge valve. Spring return action.
Supercharger noises you're gonna get.
I know, it's so sad. Brake booster action. There we go. All right, we messed up over here. We put the ground in the wrong spot, and we cannot figure out why this positive battery cable won't reach all the way here. And just nothing makes any sense at all, but totally forgot about this. There we go. This entire harness right here. This part right here. That will feed down. Gotta remember it goes behind this AC line. I did not remember that. Certain things we're not gonna remember because we'll be putting this back together way later. And that's why I like making videos. Literally us right now. There we go. I had zero recollection that's how it went, or that we made that little part of the video, which is going to save us. Side and the wrong side of history, AC line joke.
Jokes.
Jokes.
So this comes up through here. Come on.
All right, we got this to fit in there nicely. And the cables are reaching now. That's excellent. Starter solenoid is hooked up. All right, so we're gonna fire this thing up before we fill it up with coolant and hook every last little thing up. I just want to make sure everything is good to go again. And filling the fuel is a two-man job right now. We have no bed to hold it. Oh, drink up, Lightning. She's one thirsty beast. One day cars like this will be outlawed, but until then, we'll have our fun. That's for sure.
Drink all the dino juice.
That's right. All right. There we go. All right, she's got fuel. We have, I think, pretty much all the sensors plugged in. I still have to hook up a vacuum line for, I believe, the climate control over here or something. But for now, oh, I hear good clicky noises. Woo! All right, ready? Are we getting a fuel pump prime? I don't hear anything. Okay, well, after digging around for about a half hour, we figured out why the fuel pumps won't kick on. It's because we didn't have this guy plugged in, which, by the way, looks damaged. I think I'm gonna have to get a new one. But essentially, the Lightning has two fuel pumps, and in the circuit is this ballast right here that needs to be plugged in for it to vary the voltage going to the fuel pumps. So I guess at startup and idle, it's running at partial voltage, and then at wide open throttle, it gives it all of the beans. So anyway, we should have a fuel pump activation. Let's check it out. Just gonna give it another run here, Peter. Go ahead, yeah. Almost, yeah. We ran into this last time we were starting on the pallet. Took a few times. I have this vacuum open. Let's try it now. Go ahead. There we go. Just Got some vacuum leaks, that's all. There we go. Okay. That doesn't sound that normal. Give it some throttle. Oh, it did it by itself. She wants to live, Peter. Okay. Well, we can't really give it any throttle. A little bit. All right, we had a little bit of unmetered air because we forgot to hook up the tubes that go to this here. So it was sucking air in before the mass airflow sensor, unmetered air. So.
All right, fire on the hole.
Oh yeah. Unmetered air, baby. Unmetered air. It likes to meter stuff. If it can't meter, it has no purpose in life, and it won't allow our engine to run well. Look at this thing! Look at this with the wheels. This is the first time I've stepped back. Let's shut it off, Peter. This is the first time I've stepped back and looked at this thing with the wheels and everything, and it runs. And it runs well. All right, cool. So everything is good to go. Now we can go ahead with our radiator, belts, and hoses, and just wrap up AC stuff. We got to bolt that up. Yeah, let's keep going. All right, guys, we got an AC compressor to bolt back in. So got to get this from the bottom. Yeah, this would be easier to put the AC compressor on with the engine out, of course, but we didn't take the charge out of the system. So we're just putting the original compressor back in. Everything is fully charged. And I really need to get an AC machine, because then I could recover. Right now I have no way to recover. I can just pull a vacuum. That is the easy one. The other two are a pain in the butt to get to. Totally forgot how the belt routing goes, but luckily we have the intro net. So we just gotta feed this guy down around AC, and that should be it. Now I just gotta loosen up tension. Get it. Go, Peter. Go, Peter. It's your birthday.
There we go. All right, we're on.
It is blower belt time. Don't remember, is it something like that? Yeah, that looks right.
Yeah.
Okay, here, you know what? Can you do that again, Peter?
Yeah.
I gotta put this rib. Okay, now go. There we go. Perfect. Next up, we're gonna figure out our air intake system. I had bought a new one, just something clean to install, but when I bought it, I didn't realize that the throttle body would be in a different spot. I'll show you guys in a minute. Here's our adapter plate for the air filter. Bolt this guy together. They do sell a gasket for this as well, but if you don't have one, little RTV works perfectly fine. All right, so I bought this JLT intake that fits into a nice box in this area. But as you can see, if we connected it to the throttle body, it comes out right here. And that's because the throttle body used to be right over here. So when I bought this, I didn't know that I was getting this blower. So I thought this would work, but it won't. But that's okay. We're gonna figure out how to make this factory Ford intake bellow work with a larger filter that's gonna look pretty clean. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and install our mass airflow sensor with its aluminum adapter housing. Just gonna plug in like this, and we'll tighten it down. So one of the issues we're running into is that the power steering reservoir used to fit in right there. But that is probably not going to work. Maybe we can ram and jam it in, but we need to relocate this. And what's going to be nice about that is we get to remove this entire bracket. So I already loosened it up. Take a look at how clean this is going to look though without the bracket, especially with these valve covers. So it just opens up the engine. Now we can see the powered by SVT, just in case people were wondering like, man, what is this powered by? I have no idea. And then it's like, bam, powered by SVT right there. So it explains it very clearly to those who aren't aware of what powers the SVT Lightning. So then you're probably wondering, Alex, what in the world are you gonna do with this power steering reservoir? Well, what we already did was drill a couple of holes right here, and I loosened up these hoses so we can clock them properly. And we made a relocation bracket with just a couple of bolts and a couple of nuts. So now we have a solidly mounted power steering reservoir. We will clamp these hoses in once we have this properly clocked with the power steering cooler. But now we have a spot for our air filter right where it's supposed to be. This is where the factory box would be. This is where all the aftermarket boxes would be. They even have a little cutout here in the fender to grab a little bit of cold air. Now let's see how this air filter rests in here. Nice. Look at that. Actually, let's see. Can we do one of these and just have this? Oh, that's pretty slick. Yeah, this air filter fits in here nice. We'll shine this up. And here is our intake. So obviously some of the aftermarket kits have a little box here to protect it from the engine heat. So it's not 100% ideal, but I bet you if we threw this on the dyno versus the one with the little box, it would be the same, realistically. We've done these tests before. Everybody's like, that's a hot air intake. And then it makes no difference in the real world, especially when you have an intercooled system. But there you go, our intake system before it's cleaning. All right, we gotta hook up our coolant hoses. They have this thing like triple plugged off. There was another one in here. And so maybe we'll get to see what the coolant looked like. Oh, it's nice and green. Cool. I like that. You guys remember what the coolant looked like in my engine? Here it is. It didn't look pretty. This is horrible. This is horrible. When is this gonna start to look clear? I can't believe it. 3 gallons each time. All right, so we're snaking in our new little spider hose situation. I got a new one. The other one was, you know, old. Probably worked fine, but while we're in there. And Peter's underneath there helping the situation, I think. And I'm going to slide this one over. Something like that. Peter, how's the routing going back there?
Good. It's good.
It's good?
I think I'm helping.
How many pulleys is it going to rub on?
All of them.
All of them? Cool.
It's
Perfect. This guy goes right here. There we go. And then we can get the radiator in for this guy. All right, it is fan and radiator time. So we're installing the factory shroud onto a new radiator. I was gonna run electric fans, and I still am. These are from a 2010 F-150, and supposedly these are a pretty close fit. And I'd have to agree, they fit on the radiator quite well, but there's still some stuff we have to cut out and modify, and then we have to wire these fans in. And because the Lightning doesn't come with an electric fan, it comes with a gigantic mechanical fan, we would have to do all of that wiring. And to be quite honest, we don't have like the extra 3 hours it would take to figure all of that out right now. Today is Thursday. The truck is coming Saturday morning. So today is our last mechanical day. This truck has to be running and driving with no issues today, because tomorrow is all detail work. We get the bumpers coming back and everything. So we just don't have the time to spare. We need a pretty shroud for the show. Luckily, this one's not cracked or anything, so that's nice. Oh yeah, Peter, get in those areas we're never gonna see. Let's do it.
While we're in there, right?
While we're in there. We got time. Dude, this stuff works so good. Look at that, no more rust water that covered everything in this engine compartment from the blown head gasket.
So fresh and shiny.
So fresh and so clean. This is another one of those big, big chunky parts that just makes everything look complete. We're so close to more fluids. Okay, that's in there. So I just realized that I'm not 100% sure why we have these on there. It looks like this would hold the hood prop rod, but this thing has shocks. So did this have a hood prop rod from the factory and someone put shocks on there? I don't know. We could maybe get rid of that. Getting a little carried away here with cleaning. But we're gonna have the hood popped at these shows. I want it to look good.
You just pressure washed it in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, but then it's all wet and drippy.
You just want to clean. Stop making excuses. You just want to clean.
You think this
I mean, it is satisfying.
It is satisfying. I mean, this stuff just eats through. It's so much fun.
All right, you tell me about how much fun we're having at 9 o'clock tonight when we're still here.
I'll be having fun. No pressure, Peter.
You have more cleaning?
Everything will be okay. It's a nice SVT Lightning shirt you got there, Peter. It's held up pretty well, too, throughout all these projects.
No rips.
Where do people get those, by the way? I don't even know.
LegitStreetCars.com.
Oh, okay, cool.
Very exclusive.
All right. You know, we're going to do a sale. We're going to do a sale. Peter 10. It'll get you 10% off, or you'll get 10 Peters in the mail. One of the two. You find out. Order the shirt. Oh, wait, you're going the wrong way. That doesn't get spun by the radiator. You get a fully functional Peter in the mail if you win.
This is one of those ones we have to like go to the front.
Yes. There you go.
It's not any better. It's not any better at all. Ugh, how did it come out?
We got it out. God, I can't wait to get those electric fans, man. This is ridiculous. How do they make a Lightning all the way up to 2004 with a big clutch fan?
That looks like something out of like the 1940s.
Yeah, Peter, what is the newest car you've ever seen that still retains a mechanical fan?
This one might be it.
That's the newest?
Yeah.
I know something about a Japanese car that Peter doesn't. Toyota 4Runner. Toyota 4Runner.
Oh, yeah, that's
They
right.
still run a mechanical fan in 2022.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Comment down below, guys. What other new model car, 2022, still runs a mechanical fan?
Oh, yeah. That's it.
That's it.
Goes from the driver's side.
Just don't break too many of the blades.
As long as no. As long as I break the blades on opposite sides so it's still balanced.
Yeah.
Ouch.
No more injuries, Peter. Jeez.
I'm already down a finger.
Gosh. You're like a 7'2" basketball player. Very injury prone. Isn't there some kind of Japanese luck chant or something you can do right now to make this?
Yoku dekimashita yo.
Yeah, I knew it.
Ganbaremashou.
Always some kind of weird Japanese stuff that Peter can bust out. See, look at it. Now the fan just went right in.
It just needed the little gambate kudasai.
Some gambate, chuchi, woo woo.
Wow. That's actually very good. Perfect pronunciation.
But is that a thing?
No. Not even close.
Oh man, I really thought chuchi wo wo was some kind of Japanese term. So close. Peter, you're half Japanese and half what else?
Scotch, Irish, Slovak.
No, so like just straight up American.
Yeah, just everything.
Okay.
You know, generic white.
Yeah.
No offense, Mom.
Are you going the right way? It could be reverse thread.
It looks like
I think we've literally had to look back at the video now twice, and then in another video look back at those videos to see which way it spins.
We need to go like three stages deep.
It's like Inception on that. Let's go back to our little cover. And these little guys here actually are not for the hood prop. They are for the spare tire tool to remove the spare tire. All right, we have to install the mini coolers that go back together on this. This is for the power steering. Some of these fins have seen better days. Yes, they have. Probably still works fine though. And then we have one of two transmission coolers because this utilizes the radiator as a cooler / warmer upper. All right, it's upper radiator hose time. We got a new one of those as well. This side's easy. Ooh, are we gonna make it under there? It looks like a very tight fit. It's always something, people. It's always something. Come on now, this is not something I anticipated. This has got to go on. It looks physically impossible. This is the world of aftermarket goodness. We're supposed to have this engine running by now. Not messing around with an upper radiator hose. This stuff is very frustrating. That's why a lot of people are telling me to coyote swap this thing like in 2 weeks. Like, you know how many of these types of things you run into when you swap a totally foreign engine into another vehicle? Like, I think people just swap it. Just swap it. It's like even aftermarket stuff doesn't line up. All right, we're resorting to going back to the old hose. It looks to be a little thinner. I don't know. At this point, I'll take anything. I don't care.
Ikimashou!
I'll do some Italian words and it'll just go
Yeah,
on
like
like butter. This could potentially seal. Like here's the,
Oh yeah.
you know, here
The barb's there. Yeah.
Here's the barb right here. I mean,
You don't even need a clamp. It's self-clamping.
all right, guys, we're running the clamp on this side. The barb is over here, so there's just enough meat, I think. I mean, we'll know once we put coolant in here and run it. Sure. Yeah.
Call that tight.
Well, like we should be okay. That's the barb right there. I mean, I don't like this, but it should work. All right, so we got all the transcooler lines hooked up. That hose is on. It's time for coolant and transfluid. Ooh, this is always fun. Of course, going with the good stuff. Oh yeah, some nice cool blue coolant for the Lightning. Drink up, buddy. We have a coolant leak. We filled this thing up with coolant, and you can see it dripping down right there. And it's the clamp to the lower hose. Is it loose, Peter?
It doesn't look like it. But...
It kind of makes no sense that it's leaking. It's a brand new hose. The clamp is one of those factory Ford ones.
You said it. There it is, factory Ford.
There's the clamp in question, and those set their own tension. And it's on there. I don't get why it's leaking. So I don't know what's going on here. We have a new radiator and a new hose. There's nothing wrong with the factory clamp that we can see. So we're just going to add a clamp because we already put like 3 gallons of coolant in this thing, and I don't feel like draining it right now. There's plenty of meat, so we're just going to slip a traditional clamp on there and hope that works. All right, guys, we double clamped this thing, and it is not leaking anymore. Before you could see it leaking pretty much at all times, so hopefully that works. But it should. This is on there. It's on there great. I really don't understand why that's not sealing. All right, so we filled up the power steering fluid. We have coolant. We have transmission fluid. I think we're good. Let's fire it up. Can't give it any quick blips. It's weird. I know it sounds cool, but they look like factory cans. It shouldn't really sound that lopey. Seems to be running good under the hood though. It's just got a little chop to it. Looks like we got a battery light on for some reason. Okay, the alternator does not seem to be charging. 11.9 volts. That is not good. All right, I'm gonna check it at the lug coming right from the alternator. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That could be why it's not running that well. I mean, it's not that low yet, but I can't have that. Well, guys, it's about 4 o'clock on Thursday, and we have a bad alternator that we easily could have replaced had we knew it was bad. I guess hindsight's always 20/20. I should have just put the one in that's from the Lightning. I mean, it just kind of looked a little dirty, and I assumed the one on this engine was good, but I assumed wrong.
It did say triple tested.
It did say triple tested. There's a sticker on this thing that says triple tested, and it looks much nicer and newer than mine. But yeah, that's
They didn't say it passed the test.
Yeah,
they tested it.
They tried it 3 times. It failed every time, but you know.
It's been triple tested.
That's right. Well, this really stinks though. At first I thought we had to take the supercharger off to get this alternator out, and we don't. So we have to take like everything else out. Peter, we can do this. 45 minutes?
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. All right, we can do the shroud and the fan at the same time. I think that's the ticket. Like if I was a dealer tech trying to beat warranty time, that's how I would do it. All right. We get the trans lines in, it just makes all of this more difficult. But hey, look at that. That's how you do the fan.
Wow, that was quick. You did that in like 5 seconds.
I know what I'm doing. That's why.
Wow, you're so talented.
I know. Okay, we can now take this bracket off, right?
Yeah.
I reckon.
Do you reckon?
I reckon. I'm fixing to reckon. Oh, this is so close to the radiator. Don't smash new radiator. Haha. Did it? All the hardware for this is going in this little jeans pocket, which I'm not exactly sure why this is here. Like there has to be some old, like 150-year-old reason. Like people used to put their chewing tobacco and gun shells in here. But I use it for bolts. What do you guys use this little pocket for?
That was actually made for pocket watches.
What are you, an old English man?
No.
What? You got that. What?
Why? I'm trying to make you better. Did the shocks just go bad?
Look at. Yes, you can slowly see it starting to fall.
What's it called?
Come on, Lightning. I gave you an engine. I gave you life. Vice grips it is. I have to fix that before the show. I don't know if this is like show worthy. I mean, it is the real world though. Well, you guys want to see the best thing in the world? I just got this new Milwaukee Fuel under hood light. Look at this thing. I mean, it just comes on. It's got a dimmer, and then you can slide it. I mean, it don't get much better than that. I mean, except for like a functioning alternator. I like those. No, we didn't disconnect the battery. Okay? No. I don't know why I'm worried about this right now. It's connected to a dead alternator.
You're afraid of zombie voltage?
I'm afraid of zombies. and voltage.
You know what we should do, Alex? We should take that hose off.
Oh yeah, we should totally take this hose off. It would give us so much more access. Oh wait, no. It's the dumbest hose design ever. And we're gonna leave it and suffer through it. I'm not touching this cooling system. It's not leaking right now.
Is this what it feels like to fix cars in like 1987?
Yeah, I couldn't find my ratcheting wrench, the 8 or the 10. And Peter and I were debating this while we worked off camera. When did the ratcheting wrench like become mainstream or come out? Did we have multi-port fuel injection and ABS on cars before most mechanics had ratcheting wrenches? I feel like we might have. And that's weird because it's like not a, you know, like a difficult technology. It's like a ratcheting thing, you know? I don't know. This is the kind of stuff Peter and I talk about while we wrench. Just really weird, sometimes dark. Not really dark, just car stuff, really. We just sit here and talk about cars for literally hours, 40 hours, 50 hours a week, every single week. I wouldn't have it any other way, though. Would you have it any other way, Peter?
No, not at all.
You're just saying that to make me feel good?
I'd have more breaks. That's what I'd have.
Oh.
I'd have a workers' union. That's what I'd have.
Okay.
I'd have paid time off. I have paternity leave and maternity leave, depending on which one I wanted.
Okay.
I would have...
Peter, it's been a great probationary period for you. I'll give you a call and let you know if this is working out.
Thanks,
all right?
Nathan.
Let me know in the comments section if there's any mechanics out there looking for a job.
Peter, he lets you have lunch? You're allowed to eat?
No.
Oh.
It's loose.
You can do it!
Gracias, señor. God, this looks like such a nice, functioning alternator by the color of the exterior. Like if alternators were just judged on how they look,
And whether or not they had a triple tested sticker on them.
yeah, then we'd be okay. This is out of control. Okay, here's our alternator. We're leaving the wiring harness in there because we can't snake it through, so whatever. We'll be replacing this alternator with this one. Good thing you really can't see much. I'll try and clean this up. But this is, let's see, is there a manufacturing date on here? Don't see one there. That is November 3rd, 2001. This is a 2002 truck, so this is the original Ford alternator, still going strong. So a lot of these aftermarket rebuilt ones, they're not good. Duralast, okay. So it didn't last is what that means. It was triple tested, but it didn't last. Hey! All right, so we clean this up a little bit, mostly just on the top side. And you can't see it really anyway, so whatever.
Hey, is that the 8?
Oh, it's the 8. It's the 8. We found it. I was using this 8 from like 1750 as opposed to this ratcheting one that came out in probably 1995. Get these little top guys on there. This alternator is actually pretty easy to do. Oh, this ratcheting wrench is phenomenal. Yes. If you guys haven't checked out Sonic Tools yet, you got to. I'll leave a link down below. These are fantastic. And I'll leave a coupon code for 10% off. You can even get stuff engraved in your tools. LSC. All right, we got 12.5 volts. It's gaining voltage as it sits here. Peter?
Self-charging battery?
It's a self-charging and self-aware battery. It's fired up.
All right, here we go.
No! It's still not charging.
Oh, you forgot to do the...
Oh! That's right, do it. Plug it in, Peter, plug it in. Go up. Oh, it went up. Wait, yeah! Yeah! Woo! We did it! We did an alternator. Does it sound better? I think as soon as you plugged it in, it sounded better. Give it a little throttle. Oh yeah, it's more responsive now. And we don't even have a blower on there. All right, let's wrap this up and see how it sounds. All right, we have everything back together again. And let's see how she runs now with a good working alternator. Still doesn't really have any response. Weird, let's see. Unplug that, it'll default to speed density. We might have an issue with the mass airflow sensor. It's the only time we can get it to rev up is when this disconnected. All right, so luckily we have 2 more of these to try. But let's continue on. Let's keep on putting stuff together I want to get this truck to move on its own power. Look at this. Lowered a couple of inches. These big 20-inch wheels looking good. All right, I just got the bumpers back from O'Hare Auto Body in Bensenville, Illinois. These guys are the best. So we have freshly painted bumpers with no license plate holes. Those are gone. And on our beautiful rear bumper, they were able to fill in where the trailer hitch ball was cut into the bumper, and this looks beautiful. Their paintwork is absolutely amazing. They match it just like as if it was factory. I am a big, big fan. Let's see. Look at that. There's our little patch on that side. And you can't even tell on this side. Beautiful. I'll leave their information down below if you guys are in the Chicagoland area. They are your body shop. Okay, we have our front bumper fully assembled with this really heavy crash bar and bracket system. Oh, it's like a truck again. I love the gaps on a pickup truck. It's like 1.5 inches on that bumper? Sure. All right, let me know when that body gap looks good.
All right, that looks pretty good. Oh, yeah, baby.
Should we leave it like that? I gotta see this. Oh, yeah, it's like a little kind of smirk.
Yeah.
It's like a side smile. All right, so we have our other coolers installed. The pump is connected for the intercooler system. And now it's time for the heat exchanger. And yes, I'll get one of those gigantic ones when this thing comes back to me. But for now, this will work out just fine. All right, so now we have the intercooler tank. We're just gonna use the factory one for now. The one that they sent me with the engine was just kind of a little beat up, and I'm gonna get a nice new one. All right, then we just have one last hose for the system. There you go. I normally don't do this, but we saved the coolant that was in this system because it was perfectly clean. Like they just changed it, so we're just gonna go back with that. So this system is completely separate from the engine, which is nice. On the M113K Mercedes cars that I work on, like my E55, from the factory, it's all one system, so you get that hot water from the engine mixed in with your intercooler system. It doesn't make any sense. I gotta bleed the brakes on here. 3/8, these are standard on the old brake calipers. I'm gonna drive it for the first time right now. Keys. We have keys. Definitely got shifter issues. Like that's supposed to be reverse. Yeah, reverse is neutral and drive is reverse. And 2, yeah, we gotta make an adjustment on the shifter cable. No biggie. Brakes work. Ah, we're still not getting that throttle every once in a while. Now it's good. There's no whine from the supercharger without any load. I thought there would be a little. Well, we'll see. Once we get it on the road, we're gonna find out. Hey guys, check this out. So I have 2 of these exact same SCT mass airflow sensors. So I just swapped to the other one. And it doesn't run well. Can't really blip the throttle. I don't think both these aftermarket mass airflow sensors are bad. I think you need a tune for these. But luckily I have the factory one. So we can swap that out, and if my theory is correct, it should run much better. I guess the issue here is that the factory one doesn't line up with the bolt holes, but it's got the same seal, so at least just plug it in and see. This generally runs much better. It's very smooth with the factory mass air. Night and day difference. This is perfect. Woo! And before it was running so rich, my eyes were watering in here. It still smells a little rich right now, but yeah, I wasn't able to get this close to the exhaust before. Okay, I wonder if something's sticking here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play with the throttle. It doesn't want to idle down unless I Kind of put my finger right there. Oh yeah, I can't wait. When I build my motor, I'm doing cams as well, so there's gonna be a chop to it, but it's gonna basically run the same exhaust, kind of. We're gonna get rid of the Flowmaster muffler and go with something else, but this is gonna be one of the best sounding cars I have in the fleet. All right, I had to go back with the factory mass airflow sensor piece that's in black, and I think that actually looks better. So obviously we're gonna clean this up during the detail phase, but we are almost there. We have a bed to put on, and before we do that, we're just gonna go for a quick test drive as is, because why not? All right, well, before we go for a ride, it always helps to tighten up the body mounts. We haven't done that except for the front two. So I'm gonna hold it here, and Peter's gonna hit it with the gun from the bottom. And the rear ones, I can use the gun from the top. Here's the last thing before we take this thing out for a bedless drive. Gotta do these hood struts before we forget. Can't have this thing at car shows with the hood not able to be popped. Look at how dirty this thing is. Woo, it's nasty. Drive straight as an arrow. We got the alignment like perfect. AC works great. I mean, it runs great. It's just effortless. Well, it sounds really good. It is very loud. I don't think it's louder than my Caprice though. It's close. But we are getting no boost or vacuum reading on the factory gauge there, and I don't hear any blower at all. I don't think we're actually making any boost right now. I think we're just on motor. There is a bypass back here, and if you see that red and black vacuum line, those are the only ones going to that boost bypass, and that seemed to work fine. I was able to move the arm back and forth and everything, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but right now we are taking the back wheels off. We're gonna get the bed back on. That way we can adjust the tailpipes and tighten everything up. Okay. I got it, boys. Ow. Ow, it hurts. I don't think it got later. Hey, there it is. Right there. Got some new body bolts and hardware underneath that these screw into, all brand new. The bed, not exactly brand new. Look at this ride height. We still have a little bit of rake in the back, just perfect. I love it. Oh man, and look at the tailpipes. We haven't even adjusted them and they look spot on too. All right, it's time for a wash and then we're going for a cruise. I can't wait to show you guys this thing all cleaned up and in the light. All right, guys, we just put the finishing touches on the Lightning. Me, Max, and Peter have been going around detailing everything, touching everything up. You guys have seen a bunch of my detail videos, and this one is probably already pretty long, but I just wanted to show you under the hood before we get outside. It's cleaned up pretty darn well, I must say, for kind of a last minute, put it all together type of deal. But the real magic is just how beautiful the Lightning is. Let's get it out. I tightened up all of the exhaust clamps and everything. We have no leaks whatsoever. It sounds great. It's pretty loud. I don't think it's as loud as this. Let's see. You literally can't even hear this guy. It's got nothing on the Caprice. This is still my loudest car. So all we have on is the check engine light, and that has to do with everything that we disconnected and deleted. So no big deal there. Other than that, it runs pretty good. Still got nothing for a boost gauge. Not really sure what's going on, but it's Friday. We don't have any time to figure this out. It's just violent. Look at this, straight as an arrow though. The AC is ice cold. This truck, it's ready to rock. Just needs a tune. All right, so I had to swing by the dealership to get a new fuel pump resistor. The one on the truck looks pretty bad, and I don't want this to fail. It'll disable the truck. but here she is. Here is my 2002 True Blue Metallic SVT Lightning, sitting on 20-inch chrome wheels, lowered, all cleaned up, with an engine that actually runs. And look what's right next to it. The next generation of Lightning. Pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like these, but yeah, I'm all about this for sure. Take a look at this truck. This thing is straight as an arrow. We ceramic coated it last year, and it really is in great shape. And now the frame is fully coated, and this guy is looking just good. It is gonna be representing on tour for the next 3 months, and I gotta say, I'm super proud of it. We have the American flag in the back. It's a shop truck, so yeah, it's got a little bit of patina, but that's the point. This is a legit street car, or in this case, a legit street truck, if you will. It looks good at every angle. This is perfect. I absolutely love this color, and I think it pops even more now with the chrome wheels. It runs and drives beautifully. I wish I had time to kind of figure out what's going on under the hood and get it tuned, but that's okay because this is a totally stock engine. Honestly, I don't even want to risk hurting it with this supercharger and more boost, so we will wait. We will wait until I get the forged engine in this thing in a few months after all of the shows, and this guy is going to scream. It's crazy to think that 20 years ago, this truck was sold brand new at a dealership like this one. This has been a dream truck of mine since high school. I have always wanted one of these, and man, to have the opportunity to pick up one in this color, it's just been a dream come true. We cleaned up quite a bit under the hood here, as you saw, and I think this is looking pretty good, even in the sunlight, showing all the little details. Not bad, not bad, considering like 3 or 4 days ago, this was still a cab and a bed was sitting on the side and we hadn't rolled anything underneath it. I don't think we did too bad. Peter and I really hustled on this one. It's whisper quiet under the hood. The exhaust sounds so good though. All right guys, that'll do it for this video. After this outro, I'm gonna leave you with a few drive-by clips of the Lightning on the street so you can truly hear this exhaust. And also follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm gonna post up eventually where all the events are for this show. The first one is in Michigan, but I don't have all the details yet. I'm gonna be at like 3 of them, and the truck's gonna be at, I think, like 12 events, something like that. So if you wanna come see the Lightning in person, come hang out with me, we'll chat about cars. I'll leave the information on Facebook and Instagram. So with that, thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's a long one. We had a blast. And if you enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up, share the video with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and most importantly, have an awesome day. I'll catch all of you in the next video.